Why don't you just add it in post?
I like this.
Bloody brilliant.
Beers.
Bloody brilliant.
Beers.
Bloody brilliant sport.
And welcome back to possibly the scattest intro to the Bloody Brilliant Beers podcast, brought to you by Blue Bear.
That's Klutz, I'm Das. We are the Bloody Brilliant Beers. We started out reviewing craft beers on Facebook, and now we bring you the conversations you'd more than likely hear from the front bar at your local. And Klutzy, as always, mate, where are we coming to the lovely people from?
We're coming from a lovely back corner of the Caxton Hotel.
The Caxton, the greatest pub I've ever laid eyes on. Don't have a nickname for the bloke sitting to my left this week. I was just trying to think of one on the spot, but
good guy.
Couldn't think of one.
Fun guy,
Donny.
funny, cute.
Donny.
Donny
Sportsley.
from the Donny Sports podcast. Welcome back, mate. Great to have you on the sports show.
Thanks for having me. I love being here. It's my favourite show of the week, other than my show.
Yeah, well, we'd hope so, because that's the only shows you do. But anyway,
I was going to say we could have called him off-field drama because he's a big joke.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have given you a free joke.
Shout out,
Just two.
Yeah, shout out to the off-field drama boys. Big friends of ours.
Big friends, yeah.
Now, this is our weekly sports show where basically, like every other week, if you're here for an in-depth breakdown of the play-by-play and some statistical developments, and I don't even know what I'm trying to say. With us.
Fuck off, basically, is what we're trying to say.
I'm not with you. I'm a million miles away. We're in a different spot once again this week because there's a function on in our usual studio. Big things coming there next week. So
I'd highly recommend actually going to the YouTube and watching the start, because I think that's what's rattled you.
Oh, big time.
Das had to sit on a little chair and
Yeah,
do
like
the
away
intro,
from where I'm sitting. It was
it
fucked.
looks so funny in the,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reflection there, but
I might put like an overlay over the top or something. But anyway, we're here. And what's our first talking point?
I actually forgot.
Big news in Canterbury this week. Tino Fasua Malaawi allegedly getting a bit of a third-party deal to go down to the Doggies.
Brown paper bag, that's right.
So the deal that I think's been reported was $4 million over 4 years, and then part ownership of a pub.
Yeah, Gat with... Oh, has that been on the whole time? Is that just snip?
No, I just moved it so it was not as tight.
Part ownership, but the thing is, it's guaranteed return on investment. Which is a bit...
How do you do that?
Well, not legally, Darcy.
You go to a pub with pokies.
Yeah, true.
And so... But what I love about this is, if that's real or not real, it's hard to say, because the two people arguing over it are probably the two biggest dinosaurs in all of rugby league. And watching the soap opera unfold over the last... I think it's always been underlying, but since 2020, Buzz Rothfield and Gus Gould have been going at each other at just a different tick. It's just been... There was Drone Gate, if you recall, where Buzz Rothfield claimed that... the Bulldogs couldn't afford to have drones at their training sessions. So the very next day, Gus uploaded saying I have the biggest ladder in Bankstown.
Yeah. Wouldn't put that past Gus.
And they've just... And then when Gussie got the job at the Bulldogs, Buzz Rothfield was just ropeable about it, going on about his track record at the Panthers and everything like that. But I think the funniest thing about it all is I think it is the Bulldogs appointment that sent him over the edge, because Buzz Rothfield's a Doggies fan.
Yeah.
So it's like the call's coming from within the house.
It's not like he's... Yeah, I know what you mean.
So to bag on Gus now is to bag on his most loved thing, other than talking shit.
Yeah. He loves talking shit. But maybe the fact is that he loves talking shit more than he loves the Bulldogs. I wouldn't put that past him.
Clearly. Yeah. And it's I just love it. They got Buzz on NRL 360 2 nights in a row to retaliate to Gus on... what do they call it? 100% footy on Channel 9. We're having it's a full-on media war. And it's like
and
perfect for buy-around footy.
I don't
Basically, the boys in Bankstown,
I don't really
they're not going through the best time, and it's all because of that Gould man.
That was a fucking good impersonation.
That's a very good Buzz.
I don't really watch NRL 360 or 100% footy or whatever the fuck you're talking about, but we were actually here at the Caxton on, must have been Monday night, and they had a thing up, and potentially some of the worst graphic design I've ever seen. Buzz's bright idea, with a huge fucking light bulb on his head.
Reach out, I can do your graphic design. I'm a free agent.
Probably can, mate.
Fucking standard. You've seen some of my old Snapchat memes I used to make.
Yeah, way better than that.
Shout out to Cricket Australia.
What I want to ask is, I didn't know it was a guaranteed return, I do now know that, but is an investment in a pub even something you want, really?
100%.
You reckon?
You know what?
So the laundry...
I was going to say, if I got offered an investment in the Caxton Hotel,
Yeah.
I take that.
Yeah, but it's not the
with
Caxton
both
Hotel.
hands and both feet and start shaking up and down.
The Laundy
not the
Hotels,
Caxton,
like the guy that owns, I forget his first name, but Mr. Laundy. He's
Yeah.
a billionaire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's a big mover,
Lee
big
Laundy.
shaker. Like
Yeah.
the,
He owns a lot in New South Wales. Huh?
he's done the same thing for some AFL players as
Yeah.
well. So it's not the first. The Melbourne Storm did this a few years ago. There was
With
a
Matt Tripp.
bookmakers,
Yeah.
and they did
But it's not
guaranteed
like
return.
They don't. I don't think it was a guaranteed return, but I don't think they give them a share in the business as part of the deal. It's not like come play for the Bulldogs and you'll get $4 million a year and a
exactly.
10% share. It's like you can
It opens doors to
invest
conversation.
your money. Yeah.
Just like it all gets a
But
bit.
I don't know
hairy,
what I'm
but-
thinking of. Like, if I'm a professional footy player and I can get $1 million a year to go play footy, like fuck yeah. And then it's like if you're investing, like if I'm investing in a pub or a business, I want to be able to like oversee it and help it do well. You know what I mean? Like, do you really want that
As a footy player,
Like, do you
a
reckon?
pub would be so difficult.
Do you reckon Fafita's fucking finishing his game on Saturday night and going, fuck, I got to go do the close at the fucking the Laundy?
Shout out to dear personal friend Dennon Kemp, who actually used to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember him telling us he used to fly up on a Friday, working the bloke in a bar because he was the bloke in a bar.
Yeah.
Bar. Work there Friday to Sunday, and then fly back first thing Monday morning to Sydney.
Hectic
Like,
game.
That's a lot of commitment. I can't see an NRL player really wanting to do that.
Is there a person that you think you've had have touched? So like a guy that you know in person that has more frequent fly miles than Dennon Kemp?
Jay Farrell.
Yeah, maybe. Trying to think of someone who flies heaps, like probably heaps of footy players.
It was just reminded me when we were up here talking to Matty Johns at the Caxton Gym Magic Round. If you're aware of it, I don't know.
Name drop, but
when,
sure, yeah.
when he referred to Kempy as the roaming sphinx.
Yeah. See, that's one thing I fucking hate about myself is when I have a few beers, I just forget everything. I forget everything all the time anyway.
Bro, I was
but
going to say, you don't need beers.
Yeah,
So you just hate yourself.
yeah, but like it's definitely multiplied when I have beers, and there's so much shit that comes out that I just don't recall happening. And I'm like, fuck, I would love to remember that, like the roaming sphinx. But he like flies up to the Gold Coast every week for radio and stuff,
and then flies back in the same day.
Unbelievable stuff.
But what I was wanting to go back to the Tino contract.
Yeah.
What I was sort of wanting to go was like, what sort of benefits would you want if you were to get signed somewhere? Like, what would you have as be like, I want this. So let's say we're looking to get Ben Hunt back to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just be like, we'll offer you absolute chips. But the gravy on top is you've just got a 10% share in the Caxton Hotel. Imagine that.
We can give you a share in our business
Do the Farquhars start dishing out percentages of the Caxton
to bring Ben home
to bring, well, not just Ben, but maybe the entire Queensland team
Yeah.
to the Broncos.
to the Broncos.
And
Can you imagine that?
And then every weekend we're up here.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking,
It improved my life a lot.
what I'm thinking, and then like with the money, so what I'm thinking, like maybe $100,000 a year each.
Yeah.
But then they all get a certain percentage that gets them the extra cream
And
on
you know,
top
it's probably
for the caco.
it's probably a smart move by the Caxton as well, because if all these good players are coming to play for the Broncos, they're going to be playing well.
Yeah.
So they're going to be winning games. So they're going to be in the Caxton every Saturday night, Friday, Saturday night.
This is my exactly. So the
like
only
an infinite
issue I
money
can
loop.
see, now the only issue I can see arising is when it comes to Origin, you're really going to want to hope that the Broncos don't have a fucking team.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what I was thinking is because they're only going to be paying $100,000 for each player. What's that? 1.7 mil.
Yeah.
Well, you've got plenty of room. So you
Yeah.
can probably do the same thing and just
Have
employ
2 teams.
Yeah, but you can employ the 17 blokes from New South Wales to be your feeder team. So that when Queensland goes and turns up for Origin, they can come in and play for the Broncos and the
But won't they
bye.
be playing for New South Wales?
Well, no, because they don't really care.
Major problem.
At the moment, mate, you can pick anyone and put them in for New South Wales because they're only going to be there for 1 week and then they're going to get rested.
Few problems being minimum wage in the NRL 150k and you need 30 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Fine. They'll all be on 150 or whatever.
They can all be on 150.
They can all be on 200.
But what
Fucking still be under the cap.
But also, I feel like you have just like some extra room in the cap there, and you're just being greedy.
Well, yeah.
And you're like, well, no, you get your Caxton money.
Yeah.
we'll take the.
We'll take the
I'm
rest.
assuming we're getting a cut of this.
yeah.
It's
That's
$2.5 million, mate.
It's the cheapest
That's what he's
team
saying.
in the
There's-
comp.
we got money
There's
left
a lot
over.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
coin
exactly.
left over that we just invested in
I
the
think they're
cap.
invested back in the
community.
fans. And then the fans will go invested into the Caxton. That's where they
It's
get
an
their money
infinite money
from.
loop.
How much more room, like, I was thinking about this the other day with the Caxton. It's just at capacity on a game day.
Yeah. Well, once
How
we have
much
an
more
extra,
advertising?
Well, we're gonna have 5 million left in the cap next year, so adding in
It's going to be a capacity 7
full
days a
story.
week. That's what we're going for. It's going to be like that Revolver Club down in fucking Melbourne.
Never
Four
closed.
floors of Queensland
shuts.
spirit.
Yeah, that's a shitload of Queensland spirit.
But what I was thinking, I was like, let's say that I'm in my swan song years of 6th grade football, and I'm thinking about hanging
Let's
up.
just pretend for a second.
Drag our memories into a fantasy land.
Well, you two pretenders will never fucking step on a football field in your lives again, /
true.
ever for you. So I'll keep trucking nut like an absolute champ.
Yeah.
When my hamstring's better. But what I was thinking, imagine like we're going like I'm coming to the end of my 6th grade days, right?
Basically, what would
And
it take?
then-
What would it take for you to go to West for a season?
No, not Wes. Oh, well, okay.
That's
share
that's
in
the
the cap?
extreme though. Like, what would West have
I
to
would
give
not
you?
go to another club. What I'm saying is, what if Jeeps needed me that desperately, you know, and they wanted me to stay around for 6th
The
grade?
fucking world is burning.
The world is well, shit. Yeah, that's how dire the club would be at if it was. But you know, like,
It's a tough one
Cluxy,
because
come back for one more year. We
Yeah.
really need you. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I can't do it. I'm gonna break both ACLs.
Yeah.
They're both gone, mate. We'll give you 10% of fucking
What do you want?
the Saturday profits on a game day.
Oh, mate, think way bigger than that.
Yeah,
I'd be asking for a fucking 10% share.
Oh, but that's
like-
just me being generous to the club that's given me so much.
Yeah,
I'd
true.
be asking for Ubers to and from the game to get
Yeah.
on the piss.
I'm thinking much bigger than you two. I'm thinking like give me 10% of Elastoplast for all the strapping tape I'm going to use for the year.
Well, we get free strapping tape with
yeah, but
the.
someone's paying for that. Elastoplast is laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah,
I refuse to believe though that you retire able-bodied.
I'll be right.
You'll have to be medically retired. I think as long as you can run, you'll be playing for Jeeves.
Run.
yeah. I don't think.
It
Yeah.
hasn't run in years.
You haven't come. I don't know. There's a lot of.
As long as you can move, I think you'll have to like be actually medically retired.
I
from
think we're
Jeeves.
actually like really getting to the point of my longevity here now, and you guys are starting to unearth that. It's that I do fuck all, which
Yeah.
means I can go.
It's not very
Yeah.
taxing on the body. But
Exactly.
the day that they ban chafe medication, serious trouble.
when it becomes a performance enhancing drug.
Deep heat and chafe is what gets him
Give
through
me
every
back my
season.
knobs.
Yeah.
I went did a bit of a look around at other contracts and some weird things that I've seen people put in.
Yeah.
So, like the first weird one that I saw was Michael Jordan made sure that there was a clause in his contract that he would be allowed to play as much basketball as he liked, because normally in NBA contracts they made it so you can only play the 82 games of the season. You're not allowed to go off to the Olympics. You're not.
Yeah.
But he made it in his that if he wanted to play pickup basketball, it was totally fine, and the clause was called "for the love of the game." but the one I loved the most was in Cardiff. It wasn't the player obviously didn't want this clause. The head of Cardiff
he's on the
City,
football, yeah.
in soccer in Cardiff, they put it in here. It was you had to eat. They signed a defender called Pryor, not Richard Pryor, but Matt Pryor, I believe.
Lee
Yeah.
Pryor.
They signed a defender, and the only way he was allowed to sign was there was a clause in the contract saying he'd have to eat a sheep's testicle. And they're saying in Wales it's
Oh my
good luck.
God.
And so he said he'd do it if they season it with thyme and lemon.
Did you eat it?
He ate it.
How'd they
Oh
go?
my God.
How'd they go that season?
I couldn't imagine they did too well. Their main defender was vomiting up sheep testicle for most of the
I
year.
was gonna say, I thought it was good luck. But
Yeah, I was having a look at a couple of contracts with just weird clauses that stuck out to me. There's a bloke here from the Dodgers baseball team, Kevin Brown. He was the first $100 million man, which now is pretty crazy because they're getting like 500.
Yeah.
But part of his thing was the Dodgers agreed to charter a jet to fly Brown's wife and children from the family's home in Macon, possibly Georgia, to Los Angeles 12 times a season.
So good.
That's fucking awesome. There was
how's
another
that not
one.
a third party deal?
Well,
it is,
I don't think
I
it matters
suppose. Yeah,
because there's no salary cap. That's why.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So fuck, imagine if there was no, you could just do whatever third party deal you want them.
Well, I mean, I dare say they are.
I was just about to ask, can you do some? Can you not do some? Like, because the other thing is, if like say that I'm pretty sure this Bulldogs thing was bullshit. I saw Gus comment on it
Yeah.
saying it was BS, but like, say that there was a genuine opportunity for a player to invest in the Caxton.
Yeah.
Like, say Ben Hunt, we're turning him to Brisbane. You'll be on this many $100,000. Plus, there's a 5% share in the Caxton up for grabs. Not open to everyone, but if you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, Who's to say the Caxton don't just give it to him with a 1% rate, not the 5%?
Exactly.
Like how do you? It's not a quantifiable.
It's,
you know
and,
what I mean?
and it's honestly nothing to do with the NRL.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I mean, also, like, how about these players that retire and then they have coaching gigs straight away?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I agree. I did like this one because I don't know how the Rabbitohs would go with this at a core. They'd probably lose money on this one. But this bloke received an attendance bonus of $1 per fan for each Bush Stadium fan beyond 2.8 million for each year that he paid in St. Louis.
Wow.
So they ended up getting 3.2. So they got an extra $400,000.
That's so
St.
good.
Louis.
But no one. Yeah.
St. Louis, surely.
Oh yeah, same shit.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that, boys. I'm sorry about that.
right,
I don't know why I beat you up on that. It was just unnecessary
Yeah,
and
it was
uncalled
possibly
for.
one of the worst ones you've ever done.
The only reason I didn't beat him up on it is because I didn't pick it up. So don't worry about it, man.
Also, I'm pretty sure they refer to it over there as St. Louis.
Well, there you go.
American dribblers reach out.
I'll go fuck
Frothy,
myself.
sorry.
They will.
Wrong people. But yeah, there's over in the States, they have some fucking crazy ones. Like there was one that I would absolutely not be able to do. A fella here, Glenn Big Baby Davis, signed with the Celtics. His contract contained a clause that he would receive an extra $500,000 for each year of the deal that he remained under 310 pounds. Imagine that, bro.
What's 310 pounds in kegs?
Like 150, I think.
Be like more than me. No, I don't know. Well, 225
150.
pounds is 100 kegs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's a big boy.
So,
Big boy. You would
Well,
want
big
him
baby.
to. Yeah. What a nickname.
it's fucking huge.
Shout out to Dave for Feeder. If you do want to share it in the Caxton, we may or may not know someone, so get in touch, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, congratulations on signing with Jeep 6th grade.
All right, we got a quick truckle pass for everyone out there, frothies. For those who don't know, truckle pass is essentially yes or no.
Truck
red,
it's a
green.
yes, passes a no.
Exactly right. It's actually shift or truck.
Yeah.
We've been saying not
Yeah.
whatever.
Shift or
Shift or
truck,
truck.
yeah.
So shift is shift it wide. Get rid of it. You don't want it. Otherwise, you just chuck it up the middle. And the one we've got this week, shift or truck, getting baptised in the Brisbane River as a New South Wales supporter to become a Queensland supporter.
Shit.
Did this happen?
Yeah,
Yes,
dude.
Didn't you see it?
It was
I
on Courier
haven't
Mail,
seen
bro.
it.
It's on the
Oh,
news.
dude, it's absolutely ridiculous.
That's disgusting.
For those who haven't seen it, there's literally people in New South Wales Blues jerseys down under the Story
No,
Bridge in the
no.
river.
100%.
Yes, dude. Getting
It's posted in
stubbies.
frothies a couple of times.
Getting stubbies poured over the head of Brisbane River water, throwing their Blues jerseys into the river.
That's
putting on
foul.
Queensland jerseys.
Right, if you were to say to me, show me a picture of what you think someone would look like that would denounce their state and be a turncoat to another state, those three people that they showed and interviewed, that's what
One
I
dude,
would say they would look like.
I'm not fucking joking. On the news report thing I watched, one dude's Blues jersey's floating away in the river. And he
No.
says, "My wife bought me that for my 50th birthday
Last year.
last
the
year."
fuck?
They
Got
lose
rid of
2
it.
series and they're fucking.
That's disgusting. That's like those boys down that Cast Patrol.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
He is from New South Wales. He'd lived in Queensland for 6 months last year, but his whole life he's just said he's a Queensland fan. And when we were down there, they put me on the spot and I'm sitting next to Jimmy and I didn't want to be like, you're a flog.
I would've.
But
No, dude, I hate that.
we don't claim you. That's what I have to say to those baptized boys.
I literally was about to say,
We do not claim
newsflash,
you.
we don't fucking want you. And now I
Yeah.
don't think your state wants you either. So now you're stuck in fucking limbo.
Purgatory. You're
No
as
one
bad
wants
as
you.
Vic-
Have
might as
fun
well
in
be-
WA.
Move to fucking Melbourne during Origin. 9 weeks a year, you might as well move to fucking Melbourne.
It's funny. We're recording this on Wednesday, pre-Origin. Regardless of the result tonight, Queensland have obviously taken out the series. We're very proud Queenslanders. If that wasn't the case, would I be fucking down under the harbour getting baptised as a Blue? Absolutely
No.
fucking not. Absolutely not. Couldn't think of anything worse. The people who did that, you've got no backbone. You're a turncoat. But it's not like the only person who's just completely had a brain fade
Fucking
and not
oath.
understood something from New South Wales
Yeah.
this series. Like, we've currently got a player before this game who's being rested for Origin.
Yeah.
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 Can you talk me through that?
I can't. He played 14 minutes or something. 12
You don't get
minutes.
rested from Origin.
No.
It's not like
If you're being rested
games.
from Origin,
It means you're not getting picked.
yeah,
You don't get rested.
you're not getting rested.
It's like,
It's not selected.
Hey, buddy, we'll
rest-
see you in May next year.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like imagine the
Load
grand final.
management for game 1 next year.
Imagine the grand final. You made the grand final. Oh, Donny, you've had a good season, bud, but just you've had a pretty big workload, so I might give you a rest this week.
Mate, we've
It's a
actually
fucking
calculated
grand final, mate.
the Tigers have no more buys for the rest of the year, and despite not being able to play finals footy, between now and May next year, you're actually going to play too many games. So
Yeah.
we need you just to woo up, maybe pull a bit of a hammy, settle down. That's it.
But the whole fucking series has been a schmozzle. There's been players picked out of positions.
It feels like a prank.
Dude,
This year feels like I'm being pranked.
I don't want to talk too much shit about anyone, but I said to someone the other day, the only possible explanation that makes sense is that Freddie Fittler is a sleeper agent.
Yeah.
And his whole life, he was born in Queensland and they bred him to be one of the greatest footy players ever in New South Wales just so he could get the job as coach eventually and completely fuck the whole
The
system.
longest con all time. I can't wrap my head around some of the decisions that have been made. And it doesn't even make me nervous that we're recording this an hour before kickoff.
And the thing is, I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard that Freddie does a lot of amazing stuff for like grassroots. And
Oh, yeah.
which is unreal. But
Him
I
as a
just,
bloke.
I just cannot fucking understand some of the decisions that, sometimes when someone makes a decision, you're like, I don't agree with it, but I can understand
Yeah.
where they're coming from. That's not like this. I don't get it at all. It doesn't make any sense.
The amount of people blooded for one game and then fucked off is crazy. Like, it's ridiculous. But, like, I don't know. I'm honestly baffled by what New South Wales is doing. It takes a bit to baffle me. It takes a bit to get me fucking
Riled up and
rocked
confused.
and riled. To be fair, I actually saw something today
Did you?
that had me fucking proper fuming. And I thought we could bring up a segment. Times that pages have posted things and they've just missed the mark completely.
Just like completely misunderstood.
Completely misunderstood it. Now, there's like a betting agency that's green, that's not Bluebet, where one of their junior editors posted some stuff earlier this year about the South Korean soccer team.
Yeah.
And
Hot water.
that completely missed the mark.
Yeah.
Completely missed the mark.
It happens time to time.
But I saw something on a page today as well.
We won't name the page. We don't want to throw them under the bus.
Yeah, don't want to throw him under the bus or the person that did it. But basically, they put up the odds of New South
head-to-head.
Wales and Queensland head-to-head. And then underneath at $1.01, they had fucking people not giving a shit, basically, and going to bed at before 10 p.m.
I'll pull up the exact quote of what it was because I agree with you, Clutzy. It was fucking
It's
baffling.
absolutely ridiculous. And, like, that person is quite clearly from New South Wales and doesn't fucking get
So,
what Origin football means.
No one's
Yeah, it
staying
must
up.
be, yeah.
No one staying up until 10 p.m. to watch a dead rubber. $1.01, and then the caption is the $1.01 is money for jam. Like that. As a Queenslander, and maybe that's how they think down in New South Wales. I want to put 60 on them tonight. Like I want this so badly. There was one.
Why are we letting junior content people post shit without getting an approval? It's just embarrassing.
There was one clean sweep. Basically, this post is insinuating that no one gives a fuck about what they're calling a dead rubber, which I think is complete and utter horseshit.
Yeah.
There was one clean sweep in the 8 straight era. Do you know how big this would be?
This
the
is
youngest
huge.
Queensland team ever to clean sweep.
I don't think people realise. It's fucked, man. Like this clean sweep. If we get this clean sweep, this is literally setting us up for another decade of dominance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
people
there
just
is
think we
so
don't
much
care.
riding on this game. Every fucking Origin game counts.
Yep, 100%.
Oh, I 100% agree that every Origin game counts.
I was going to say, you've been awfully quiet on this.
It's almost like I've been bound and gagged contractually. Some people might say.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think if there was a junior editor out there trying to make a crust, I think maybe if I could play devil's advocate,
Yep.
whoever that person
I
might
would
be.
love you to try and have an explanation for this.
And it would be hard to try and get into the headspace of someone that would make such an asset. But I guess what they're trying to say potentially would be maybe Origin Game 3, when it's already decided, isn't as big of a deal as games 1 and 2 when the series is up in the air.
I disagree.
I would somewhat agree with that. Like it's not as important as game 2, but it's to say that it's $1 that no one's going to stay up to the end and go to bed is a farce. I think. We were in here on the Wednesday before game 1 and before game 2, and there was just a bit of magic in the air. I can feel it.
I can't feel the same level of magic. There's still magic here. It's obviously the Caxton and the walls are filled to the brim with magic and spirit. But I think the further you walk away from the Caxton, that magic has not carried through
Are you going
to
to
the
tell
rest
me
of the city.
right now that you're not sitting at this bench seat with Josh and I with a rock hard cock in those pants?
Well, I am most weeks, but that's just like part of parcel.
It's got nothing to do with
I'm doing
Origin.
the sports show. But I think I'm a little bit disappointed that the word dead rubber is being thrown around as much as it is, because it has kind of killed my vibe a little bit for the game. I'm red hot for it. I love Origin. I like Origin more than I like regular league. I've been on the record saying that I value a Queensland win more than a Cowboys
you
win.
mustn't like regular league that much if you're not hot and horny.
It's
for
weird that you would
this.
say all that and then you're the one using the term
last
red as well.
No, well, it was this junior associate that's done that. But I think that what I'm trying to say is, don't you just feel like there's a little bit less... Just in the media,
I've got a clip that would
ads,
literally change your mind. Listen to this. My thing's not hooked up to the Bluetooth, but just listen to this. It's too far away for me to stand up. This is Jonathan Thurston.
We got the sweep in 2010, and always remember what Lockie said to me, and that was, people remember clean sweeps.
People remember clean sweeps.
People remember clean sweeps.
I'm going to ask you one question, and I want you to be honest with me.
Okay.
Very honest.
Yeah.
Before the potential of a clean
I
sweep,
think you're a cock.
before the potential of a clean sweep was on the table, were you aware that the last clean sweep was in 2010?
Yes, 100%.
You
Because
knew-
it's
you
so
knew-
rare,
you-
bro.
He's quiet. You knew for a fact it was 2010.
Doesn't that prove a point though, that it's so rare that
It's
I don't
so
know when
rare,
it is?
dude. That's why everyone's so excited, because we haven't
Well,
been in this
that goes
position.
against your clip of everyone remembers clean sweeps,
Yeah,
and you
true,
in fact
yeah.
did not remember the last clean sweep.
But I think what he's saying is like
No, dude, we haven't been in this position
you
for
talk
so
about
long,
clean
and that's
sweeps,
it's
though.
like.
clean sweeps get talked about more. Like we're saying there was one in the decade of dominance.
I don't think that's fair to say. I don't think clean sweeps get spoken about more than decider wins.
No, but they get remembered and shared. Like people
Yeah.
think more of that series.
No.
Like, Queensland won 8 in a row, and they're talking about one clean sweep. They're not talking about where they won 2-1 and something fucking crazy happened. They're talking about one clean sweep.
Because
there's a clean sweep on the table. When you think about Origin, at least for me, as a true maroon Queensland fan growing up, I obviously enjoyed the decade of dominance, but it wasn't because of dominance. It was
sound
because
like
of the nail biting, getting
No.
it done. Obviously, I love smashing them. I love watching us just like run circles around them. But it's just, I think it just gets Queensland a little bit less horny when there isn't the opportunity to just like spook them at the last corner.
So if at the start of the series, if I'd said to you, you can either win this 2-1 or 3-0, what would you say?
Well, 3-0, obviously. But But if the question is, would you rather win it in game 2, have a dead rubber where you blow them out of the water, or win it 2-1 and by a field goal in the last second? I'd rather that.
No, fuck
no,
that.
fuck no.
Rugby league's drama. It's the
them by
greatest soap
50.
opera ever created. That's what I just prefer.
You get the same drama, you just get it in game 2.
Yeah.
And you get to be there when it's
Yeah.
at Suncorp.
It's fucking awesome.
We'll put it this way. I was at the game 3 last year.
yeah, same.
and-
That was sick. But game 2 this year was equally as sick.
I'd have to argue that game 3 last year was just simply better. There's just the stakes were just higher.
No, game 3 last year was better because Ben Hunt took the intercept on the siren and
but
won.
the stakes are higher for a game 3 than a game 2.
Depends on the score.
I think that's where that's where I get hung up. A game 3 decider, the stakes are so like game 3 has the potential to be the most intense game ever, or slightly just less meaningful.
But what about game 2 when it's 1-0?
Well, every game 2 goes into it 1-0.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like you get the same.
You get the same feeling.
Exactly.
But
It's still
but
must
it's not
win.
on both sides. It's not the same level of anxiety on both sides.
I think it is though. Because imagine, all right, imagine game 3 was up here and we go into game 2 1-0.
Yeah.
And we're like, imagine game 3 is down in New South Wales.
Yeah.
It's 1-0.
It is.
Yeah. So this series.
Yeah.
We're going into that game, but it's not like, let's say we win the first game in Queensland and then
Yeah.
the second game is in a neutral zone.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the Maroons aren't as like, holy fuck, we need to win this game?
No, obviously.
Because
it's
they're going down to New South Wales then.
But with one in the back pocket, there's just less drama than it going to a game 3. There just simply is less drama.
Yeah, I still think that game 3 means a fuckload to people.
This
just
has been a
cause,
very, very dribbly chat.
just because it's
It has been dribbling, but you're so fucking wrong.
Yeah.
No, you're trying, because this is what happens on this show. You try so hard to make it seem like it's not enough for you that I might just feel a different way. It has to be, you actually hate rugby league.
yeah.
And you'll just never get it out of me.
Yeah.
Because I just so clearly
You even
love
changed your
it.
name from NRL Don to Donny Sports. That's how much you hate league. Now
took
you're
it out
all
of your
about soccer.
The Queensland or the Brisbane Roar. That's my real passion.
Rory Sports.
The Rory Sport.
I'm a massive fan of the Brisbane Strikers, always have been. Bring them back.
You just don't get the same drama in rugby league.
No, you don't.
It'd be a 1-1 draw.
Take me down to Brisbane City at
Anyway,
Newmarket.
fucking go Queensland. Go
Fuck
to
whoever
Queen
made that
Sweep.
post. What an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Don.
Right, on the weekend, just gone UFC 290, I think it was the card.
There's fuck tons of them, so we'll
There's
go with
fuck
that.
tons.
UFC doesn't matter to me until 300 when the Zuck fights Musk.
Is that actually happening?
Allegedly.
300? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought it had been like locked in for 300. I
I
was like,
think
holy
Musk
shit.
went on Twitter the other day. Idiot, he should be on Threads. Went on Twitter the other day.
It's your own platform, bro.
And he said that
You
he
can
wants,
argue with you being on this podcast. You idiot should be on your own. Sorry, continue.
he wants a literal dick measuring competition with Zuck. And then he said,
Wait, like he actually wants a
That's what-
cock off.
He tweeted he wanted a cock off, and then he tweeted right after it, Zuck is a cuck. And I was kind of like, stop doing my bits.
Yeah.
That is so
Have you been
good.
listening to the podcast? Yeah. We will not be doing a cock off because there's one thing I can guarantee you, Clutzy and I'll be losing at. It's a cock off.
Yeah.
But a cuck off, I got you covered on all bases.
Yeah. But yeah, we're definitely, as you can probably tell by that chat, not big UFC guys. We're not going to sit here and pretend to talk about how the rounds are scored, but
I enjoy watching people just bash each other.
yeah.
but-
And like, I just wanted to bring up fucking Alexander Volkanovski. I feel like if he was achieving the things he's achieving in the UFC, that someone, like if he was doing that in a different sport, like say rugby league or cricket or something, he would be like a fucking...
Cold hero.
And I think he kind of is still, but I just think he's
It's
underrated.
not the same level of love.
Like,
It's not.
I'm pretty sure they said on the weekend he's had like 6 title defenses. He went up a weight class and fought the dude who is like undefeatable, and people are arguing that he won the fight. The refs gave it to the other dude.
He's arguably the GOAT.
Yeah, and
They're
like
saying
people say that.
he should be the best pound for pound fighter, but John Jones won that when he won it back when he won his last fight. And it's
Right.
like, that cunt's a monster. Volker's destroying people at a featherweight level.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to bring it up because apparently in his camp, he fucked his arm up. And the first thing he said after the thing was like, yeah, I need to go and get surgery on my elbow because he can't fucking straighten his arm.
Mental.
And then he's like, but I'm going to be active. I'm going to be back in the ring. Wants to fight in like October or something.
Yeah.
I think it's 9 weeks. There's like a
the
big
fuck is
Australian
that
card
made
with
of,
like
bro?
Bam Bam and shit like
Yeah,
that.
in Sydney, I think.
I think it's just Aussies are like, yeah, but are you doing it here? Because like Timmy Zoo arguably has equal to more hype
Yeah.
than Volk.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because
Yeah.
Volk's been doing it forever.
Yeah. And probably Volk's probably fought 3 times since Zoo's last fight. Like,
Yeah. Well, no, but yeah.
yeah.
I know what you're trying to
but
say.
like before,
And
I know
like,
Tim Zoo
there's no
just
knock on
fought.
Timmy
but-
Zoo. I love Timmy Zoo.
Yeah, 100%.
And everything he does for the nation. But my friend's Macedonian, and so he's been with Volk since like the very rip.
Yeah.
And he's been saying that for years, that it's mental, the little credit that he gets. Like, it's just like, even like when Volk won, I can guarantee you on 9 News on Sunday, they were still talking about the buy-round games in detail.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
and by the way, I think Volkanovski won a fight over in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Volkanovski has another title defense.
So probably just brought in $1 million cash for himself or something like that. Something fucking stupid. Talk about going to get an arm surgery to fight again in 3 months. Like
Mental.
The other one on the card was Dan Hooker, not an Australian, but someone from New Zealand, so close enough.
We'll
claim
claim
him.
him. He's the
Exactly.
next Russell Crowe.
Did you guys see the highlights of his fight? It's
No.
fucked.
Is that the one that went for like 20 seconds?
No. He bleached his hair for the fight, and he came out. He's like, I wanted to have pink hair by the end of the fight. And I did. He was just covered in blood. Got this
Wow.
head kick that dead set would have had me on a swivel. Like would have fucking broken me, and just stood there and copped it. He snapped his wrist in the second round
That's
and
fucked.
fought the rest of the fight. Can you imagine having a snapped wrist
No.
and punching someone in the face?
Dude,
Bro,
I-
that's
I-
so fucked.
I got a paper cut opening a package yesterday, and I've been thinking about it ever since.
I got shin splints and like walking hurts, and our mate's got a fucking snapped arm, and he's punching dudes in the face.
That's
like
fucked.
it's fucking insane.
we had a mate of ours used to go by the Lockie Billy Holiday.
Billy the Kid, I think.
Billy
it
the
was.
Kid, yeah. And I remember one of his last fights, broke his thumb or something in the first punch and was just like, oh, that sucks. And went on and just kept belting this dude and won.
Punch the fuck out of him. Yeah, had to get
Just
surgery after it.
Yeah.
So you're saying in your if your fight
Fighters
goes,
are different,
if
bro.
you get a broken arm, you're not going ahead.
Dude, if I get a scratch, I'm going to the ground and not getting up. There's no chance.
You can count Mississippi's if you want, but you're getting to 10.
100%. You
Bro,
sweet? You know how they always
I-
ask me, you sweet? Like, nah. Fuck no.
He just hit me in the face, bro.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'll be
I've had
completely
enough.
honest. I've actually been keeping this under wraps, but I'm planning being like Mo from The Simpsons and flying in and
Yeah.
zooming Homer on out of there, and you're my Homer.
I
in
thought
The
you were going to say
Simpsons.
you were going to planning on being home and just stand there and take the punches till
That's
Tommy
my
Dahl gets
plan.
tired.
See, I reckon he'll get tired a lot quicker before I get tired.
Should we do coloured hair? I was thinking I want to do bleached blonde, bleach purple hair.
Blue
Yeah.
and green.
Blue and green for you.
Cheers.
It's hard to go blue though. 'cause
But
it's dark.
but sorry, we're getting off track.
Yeah, very off
Going
track.
back, the fact that they can do that is just fucked. When you got that'd be one of the most painful things ever, because the more you do, you're doing more damage.
yeah.
It's not so solid in there.
Reminds me of Sammy Burgess in 2014.
About to say that is one of the most courageous
What did he
things
do?
ever. Sam Burgess fucking broke his eye socket in the grand final for South.
Cheekbone.
Cheekbone. First tackle of the game, off the back fence.
Yeah.
Played the entire thing.
What the fuck cheek?
Shout out to HIAs.
Yeah.
Non-existent at
Dude,
the time.
Darren Lockyer kicked a golden point field goal against the Dragons in a quarterfinal with a broken cheekbone as well.
Did you know about
His last
Webke
game.
in 2000?
Yeah, broke his arm.
Broke his arm before the game.
Before the
they
game.
said you have a broken arm, and he said strap her up. It's like that's not how that works,
That's not how
Shane.
Elastoplast works, bro.
Bro,
That is fucked. Strap her up.
there's a fella that when I first came into grades at Jeeps, I played at East in a 5th grade morning match. Still fairly big kid or whatever, but I've just turned 20 playing against men, and I was shitting bricks.
Yeah.
And the coaches absolutely reamed us about how we had such a shit warm up. We're going to play shit, all this sort of stuff. And then this older dude just rocked up, and he just got us all together and started just fuck those guys, go out there, play hard. I was like, awesome. Watch this guy play. Hardest bloke I've ever seen play footy. He was almost 40, I think, at the time. And just this absolute psycho. His name's Gussie Porteous, and he continues to come down still. It's almost 10 years ago now. He still comes down and plays the odd game.
Wow.
There was one day, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, he broke his arm on the field, tried to keep going and was like, oh, this is fucked. Came off. He's like, nah, broke my arm. They're like, oh, fuck, we'll get an ambulance. He's like, nah, I'll be all right. Jumped in the car, drove himself to hospital, calling his missus on the way. He also
I
did
honestly-
his ACL or something, running away and scoring a try against Uni. And pretty sure he strapped it up and came and played a couple of weeks later with a partially torn or torn ACL.
Dude, no-
it was fucked, man. He is the toughest motherfucker I've ever seen.
I'm not even kidding. As a 28, nearly 29-year-old male, if I let's say I was at home by myself and slipped over and broke my arm, home alone, literally the first thing I'll do would be call my mum. I mean, I have fucking broken my arm. There's no way I'm jumping in a car and driving myself to the hospital. I'm such a pussy. Mum, please help. I don't know what the resolution is, but you got to help me out here.
I don't know if it's the same sort of level, but I have had my own sort of adversity with injury and playing through it.
This will be good.
I think I've told this story on a pod ages ago, but 2012, lathered up in 0 SPF tanning oil on a lovely, lovely Hawaiian day.
Oh, yeah.
If it's 0 SPF, do they have to note the level of SPF?
Yeah, they do. Because it's a tanning
tanning
lotion.
oil, yeah,
because some of them have 10 SPF,
Yeah.
but it still sizzles your skin. But as a young 17-year-old who was just looking to make his way in the world of rugby union at the University of Hawaii, I thought I'd go out and impress and get a bit of a tan, and played touch footy, stepped someone in between my pinky toe and whatever the toe next to it is, hit someone's shin, dislocated it, didn't know. The pinky toe hit the ground and broke it. So my pinky toe was on a 90-degree angle, right? So fucked. I didn't realise, and then I went to stand up and play the ball, and I was like, oh, my toe hurts. I was like, oh, that's not meant to be like that. And fucking, there was like the Army or Navy rugby league team, Australian rugby league team was near us. The doc came over and was like, yeah, it's fucking fucked. Like, just kept going on and on. As I said, we were over there for rugby, and we were trying to get fucking scholarships to the University of Hawaii for rugby union. So you could clearly see how that turned out. No one got one. But we were playing, we had our last game, and I really wanted to play in it because it was a pretty big game. We were playing against the high school football Hawaiian champions in rugby union. So it was a massive game.
Yeah.
And
that's sick.
Bro, we rock up to this field, and I was like, I have to play. So I've strapped everything and put my boots on, and I was just hobbling around the field. It's literally like I should have just gone, oh my God, this is me in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
I'll be doing the exact same thing. No injury, just shit. But it was so mental. Like just that little pinky toe, I could not do anything.
It
crippled me, bro.
Do they put that in a... No, they can't do anything for a toe.
Can't do
just
anything.
have to wait it out.
The best thing was, though, I got given crutches. It was too hard for me to get around the place.
Yeah.
So we just went around in fucking cabs the whole time while everyone else had to walk everywhere. Across Honolulu.
Losers.
Yeah, but it was one of the worst things I've ever done to myself.
Yeah.
Fully crippled me.
Actually,
what a way to ruin a trip to Hawaii.
The other thing the worst injury I've probably ever had as well is a broken foot or toes.
Yeah.
Or my rolled ankle, but yeah.
I'd definitely rather break an arm than a leg.
Oh yeah, fucking oath.
I treat my body as a temple, so I haven't really run into any issues.
Well, clearly you fucking don't.
Let's be honest, no one's sitting on this couch. Just absolutely plowed through Domino's pre-pod. Probably go home and have more Domino's to watch the Origin as well.
I'll be using the BBB code. So
yeah.
Fucking oath.
But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Dan Hooker and Volk. And actually everyone fighting on the card, they're all fucking head cases, to be honest.
Anyone that plays through injury, there's something different about them.
What about when Peter Wallace ruptured his testicle before game 2?
Or Tom Dearden.
Yeah.
That hurts me to think about. I can't imagine the actual pain those people must be feeling.
Pretty sure Wallace's one just erupted.
Yeah, my question was going to be, so they can just erupt.
Apparently,
surely they don't just erupt.
Ever had testicular torsion where it just wrapped around
I know that
itself
Capewell,
and
he do his last year. Someone kneed it and
yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm pretty sure Wallace did it in warm-ups.
Oh, I'm almost certain they don't explode, dude. There's got
Isn't there a footy player that lost their testicle because they got
Aaron Woods, I believe.
Really?
I think
because there was one that got hit that hard in the nuts.
I think he had to get rid of it.
Incinerated
the ball.
Like, the incinerator.
And then you know what they did with that after they took it out? They sent it over to Cardiff for a new defender.
It's in chutney now.
Rugby league star Jack Johnson revealed he lost his favourite testicle after it exploded following a freak training collision with a teammate's knee. I just like that it was his favourite testicle.
What's your favourite?
I couldn't pick one. I love them both equally.
Yeah.
Probably my right.
Why?
Well, because I'm right-hand dominant.
Yeah.
So I think it gives me extra power. I know your nuts have no... Well, it does, I know that your nuts don't give you any, control over your capability of your body and all that sort of shit, but I feel like because the right nut is a dominant nut, the right side of my body is the dominant side of the body.
The dominant nut.
Well, it always seems to be hanging lower, so therefore it's...
Must be dominant.
Yeah, it has to be dominant.
Arguably slacking off.
Yeah, the other one's hanging on tighter.
Yeah.
No, well, he got hot too quickly because he's doing too much work.
Yeah, it's true.
So that he has to get
Work
down.
hard, hang low.
Yeah. There you go, Dan Hooker. Take that into your next fighting camp, bar. Work hard, hang low.
That is one of the dribbliest things we've ever done.
All right. Time for tips, baby.
Yeehaw.
I went pretty well last week. The only one I got wrong was the Rabbits.
I got 5 from 5.
I have a feeling I might have tipped the Bulldogs
You
on
did
the pod.
on-
No, on the pod, you
did.
did the Bulldogs,
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
I
Because
was
we
just
were
going
like,
off my
we
tips
feel
on my phone.
something.
Yeah.
Because
I might have
South's
gone
missing
5 for
8
5 as well
players.
then. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
we got all our tips right on the pod
I did
last
not
week.
tip the Bulldogs. I actually tipped Souths in 13 plus on my bet of the week. So I did the
Nice.
opposite of that.
Nice.
Yeah, let's
Flying here.
we'll take South 13 plus with 8 players out, including basically their entire spot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all right.
well,
We
you win
learned from
some,
that.
you lose more.
That's
Yeah.
it. Moving on to this week, Friday the 14th of July, we have the Knights versus the Tigers at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle.
I'm tipping the Knights. I am wary of the Tigers with Appy Coruscant back. He seems to spark them.
I'm tipping the Knights.
The Tigers as well could have a rampaging attack from the forwards because Stefano was rested.
He'll be well
for
rested.
Origin, so he's well rested. I did hear a stat today from random stats guy that I think the Knights have scored like 18 tries down the right-hand side.
Okay.
And the...
That's Dom Young on that side. Hey?
Dom Young, and the Tigers have conceded 19 or 20 tries down that side this
Okay.
season.
Okay.
So I'll be having a little play on Bluey with Dom Young, I think.
Dom Young into the
Yes.
Knights, maybe. I'll back in the Knights at McDonald Jones on a Friday night. Surely you got to give those people in Newcastle something to cheer about.
Something to cheer about after a 3-0 whitewash in the Origin.
Yeah.
Saturday game, early game. Bulldogs, Broncos at Belmore. I'm going the Bronx.
Bronx.
I also am tipping Bronx. However, I've just seen that this game's at Belmore,
Yeah.
which does matter. It simply does matter.
It's also Josh Reynolds' last game, even though he's going to be playing reserve grade.
Whoa.
It's a double header.
Danger, 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 danger.
Like the fans
Are
would be
you fucking
rowdy.
kidding? It's his last game. He's not even playing. He's played his last game.
I mean, like, it's his last game of professional footy.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos
And he's playing reserve.
absolutely sexually assault them.
I think it depends on the who backs up.
I think,
Sure. I think they'll
don't
put
think
in
it does.
light work on Wednesday night. This comes out on Thursday, so could have eaten that already. And they could pretty much all
Who's playing?
back up.
Who's playing for the
Oh.
Bronx apart from Paddy Carrigan?
Paddy
Payne
Carrigan's
Haas is
not
injured.
playing.
No,
Reece
I mean
Walsh.
Origin.
Reece Walsh.
He's not playing anyway. Suspended.
Oh, yes.
Payne
There's no,
Haas
there's
is
no
still
one backing
out.
up apart from
Yeah,
Carrigan.
true.
Yeah,
Payne Haas is still
I know,
out.
but there's only the only person backing up.
I
is
was
Carrigan.
just saying, mate.
Yeah,
Payne
but
Haas is still
But does that
out.
mean Reece isn't going to play then?
No, Walsh isn't
So you
playing.
won't
No,
have-
but you got Tristan Saylor, who's a weapon.
Yeah, he's a
bro.
wet, but I mean, like that, like definitely levels
Dude,
the
it's the
playing
fucking
field.
Bulldogs.
Belmore, they just beat South.
with 8 people out.
Yeah, but it sounds like you've got
Corey
quite a
Oates
few
on
troops
Addo
out as
Carter.
well.
Corey Oates wins. Katoni Staggs on Carraz in the centres. Katoni absolutely fucking annihilates him. Herbie Farmworth on Braden Burnt. Herbie. Selwyn Cobbo, Blake Wilson. Selwyn. Ezra Mann, Matt Burton. Ezra. Adam Reynolds, Toby Sexton. Adam Reynolds. Keenan Palisai, Max King.
Big Sexton had a good
Keenan.
game last week.
Billy Walters, Reed Marnie. Look, honestly, probably Reed Marnie. Corey Jensen, Fatala Mariner. I'd probably go Corey Jensen because he's got cunt. Kirk Capewell over Tapine, Piacora over Preston, Hetherington over Waddell. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Don. The
just trying to
Broncos
say-
are fucking humming, bro.
I'm just trying to say Belmore Sports Ground is a fucking dangerous place to go.
Not if you're the Broncos on
Bro,
the top
half
of the
of the
ladder.
fucking Broncos are from Logan and they tell
And
me about that
don't get
all
me
the
wrong.
time.
I think the Broncos win. I put my bet of the week this week as Broncos and Cows to win 20 plus combined.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just saying it's more dangerous than we're alluding to.
No, I think you're right.
A humping, perhaps not.
I think.
Unlike the next game,
think
which
a
will be
humping-
well and truly
I think.
a humping for the ages.
I think the 3 games on Sunday are all going to be humpings, and I'm tipping the Cowboys over the Seagulls for the
Yeah.
5:30 game. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Bro, I heard the other day, I think Kempy say it, that Tom Dearden is the best 6 in the game at the moment based on form.
yeah, well,
And I was like, you know what? That's
If not him,
actually
who?
such a fair
Yeah,
statement.
it's exactly. If not him, who? That's a very fair statement.
there's the thing about the Cows
Yeah.
is they've led you all down a fairy path of you just felt comfortable all year.
Yep.
And Darcy, not long now until Cowboys Broncos, is it?
Yeah.
And we have the best.
Hopefully the
6
Cowboys.
in the game.
Hopefully the Cowboys are in the top 8 by then.
Well, we're fucking very, very close. Just like I said, everything's coming together. Everything's going to plan.
Sure.
Sick,
The
man.
Cows are humming. They're going to probably pump Manly into the core of the earth. fuck Tom and Eddie. I mean, that's
Yeah.
gonna make me so happy that they'll cry tonight. They'll cry on Sunday.
I won't argue that. I'm not going to argue that at all.
It's just going to be one of the. I can't see a world where Manly win this.
And to round out a weekend of Saturday, full of sex. Saturday the 15th, 7:30 p.m. We've got the Roosters Storms at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and I think the Storm are going to absolutely fuck the Roosters.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Melbourne to get up in a big way here. It looks like all the boys are backing up as well, which is always good to see. Nelson's still playing on the edge, which has me so happy. Brandon Smith back on the bench. Has he played recently?
No, he's back for this, yeah.
Awesome. Well, he did shit house last time. He got too much head noise about playing against the boys. I think he's really missing Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I think the Roosters are... Oh, fuck. They're just going to keep tumbling down.
So do we think it is... So it's round 20 of a 27-game season.
Roosters are gone.
They're not going to put it together.
No, they can't.
You don't think?
No, fuck no. There's too many other teams.
Too late.
Yeah.
Bro, they're not going to beat out the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to make the 8.
Where do they sit on the ladder right now?
13th.
Yeah, I just can't see. I think we've been waiting. We've been waiting a long time for them to put it together because the cattle they have. I had them winning the comp this year.
At what point do you think they come out and say that the Roosters are in a rebuild?
They can't be. Their team is built.
At what point do
Their
you think
team
they
is
say
fucking
that?
built. Like
every team that fucks up like this always says they're in a rebuild.
Yeah.
Stage.
I think it's embarrassing for the coach.
Yep.
I understand that there's been injuries, but every team has fucking injuries.
Yep.
The Cowboys and the Roosters had very similar starts to the season.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they're in very different positions now.
I just can't
even regardless of their position, where they actually are, like the form they're in.
The pedigree and the cattle that the Roosters have. It's mind blowing.
I know this isn't a tip, but I just want to have it out there again. I've said this before, but I am so high on Sam Walker going to the Cowboys.
Oh,
so that next year and for years on end.
Imagine Sammy and Tommy playing together.
Yeah.
And then the Queensland.
The former Bronco proteges now at the Cowboys.
And could you
imagine that, mate?
Give it 10 years' time. That'll probably be our Queensland halves if everything clicks.
Yeah. Maybe Ezra Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Ezra. That'll be a bit,
Ezra? I don't know. There's just the Roosters. It's good to see them do so bad. As cruel as that is. I hate the club.
They've had enough victories. They've had enough wins.
That's it. All right. Sunday. Sorry, dribbling. Moving on. Warriors, Sharks. I think the Wars come out and not pumped the Sharks, but beat them in a hotly contested match.
It was
Warriors nearly $2 on Bluebet, and I think there's some fucking value in that. I think they should be favourites.
The last time these two played, that was when the Warriors had the biggest comeback in NRL history.
Yeah.
And since then, that's just galvanised them.
Yeah.
You'd think the Sharkies are like on a fucking. They need to start beating top 8 teams.
Yeah,
I think they're starting to get fucking head noise about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they are pumping these other fucking teams.
Yeah.
And there's just something that happens when they cross into the 8 and the Sharks just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's almost becoming like a
there
tired
must be a
trope.
shark net on the 8th position, and the lifeguards are watching, and there's an alarm. Every time they come into the top 8, the alarm goes off. Yeah. And then everyone clears out of the water, and there's nothing they can do. Yeah. Back down the bottom, you fucking go to feed on the bait fish.
I like the Sharks to do it. I think if they're real, if they're not pretenders, they'll beat the Warriors this weekend.
Yep.
I like the Wars.
I'm going to tip the Wars, though. I like the Sharks, like as in... I think they're good blokes. You know what I mean? I would have a beer with the Sharks. Wouldn't have a beer with Manly, apart from Cherry Evans. But I don't think they'll win this weekend.
Don't mind the Manly boys that much.
Yeah, I know. That's a bit of a drive-by. Sorry. But you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Sunday the 16th, we've got the Dolphins with the Panthers out at KO Stadium. I'm tipping the Panthers. $1.15.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's too short, but I still think they win. So.
Very short. You know what? I'm just going to go real loose here and tip the fence.
Good on you. They'll turn up for their members.
KO Stadium was more of a fortress that it's turned out to be.
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to be.
You can guarantee
more of a
one thing,
fortress.
that it'll be sold out.
It's sold out. Yeah, it's a sold out game.
The fans out there fucking love it. But
I'll be there. It's good fun. They haven't been favourable to. There's been 3 games at KO and they haven't been favourable to when they got them. Like a Thursday night game is great for TV, but for fans it's not great. And then Sunday at 4 o'clock, great for TV, not great. So I think if they got them a Friday night game at KO,
go off.
But obviously they don't want to do that because you could do it at Suncorp, but a Friday night game at KO, it would be
epic.
You know, the second game, people have got a bit of time to get into their work.
Yeah.
But Sunday and Thursday, you're just on your best behaviour, so it's a bit of a library.
Yeah. Still, should be a good game, but yeah, I'm tipping Panthers. And the final game for the round, which is at 6:15. There's 3 games on Sunday. Hectic, probably because of Origin. Eels versus Titans at Combank. Eels. Battle of the Blue and
Probably
Gold.
going to go Eels here.
I think, Moses should be able to back up if that's on the Sunday.
Also,
Sunday night, yeah.
Eels quietly have just come from nowhere and done really well. They're on a bit of a run.
Well, the start of the season was bullshit. They played those 5 really good teams off the back of buys.
I'll put my hand up. I wrote them off.
Yeah, I think we all did. They weren't winning at all.
I wrote them off.
Yeah.
But Gutho is like probably one of the form, if not the form fullback of the competition right now.
Yeah.
Since the other one chatted enough shit to get himself suspended. So Gutho's probably the form fullback of the comp.
Yeah. Hard to be the form fullback when you're not playing.
So I don't mind the Titans. I think I like how they've been playing, but can't see them getting it done.
That wraps up for another week. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. We'll be back on Monday with Blowing the Froth Off. Thank you, Donny, for joining us as always.
Thanks for having me. That was a good healthy dose of just nonsense, I think.
Jeez, we really
lost track of time, didn't we? Fucking hell.
Anyway. Well, there was about a half-hour segment in there where we're just passively aggressively going at an unnamed member of the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, it was a member of the podcast, was it? Sorry, I thought it was a junior staff member.
Junior staff member.
We'll leave it to you to figure out who it was.
Can't stop giggling.
Make sure you go follow Donny Sports at Donny Sports everywhere. Check out his podcast with his mate Jord. It's phenomenal stuff.
Sensational, some would say.
Sensational. Sorry, I should have said that. Go the Broncos. Go Queensland. Thanks for listening.